Welcome back. It's another awesome episode of Chit Chat Chop. And I'm really excited to host this one because I have Littlesarahbirch here. And for those of you who don't know, she's also from my hometown of St. John, New Brunswick. Woo woo! Big shout out. Yes, and so let's tell them about you. You are a content creator and storyteller. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, that's
with a million other things that you do. Yeah.
This is what I go by these days.
Okay,
yeah.
I like that title.
So, I mean, I used to be a lawyer, but
I know.
Don't hold that against me.
Pretty big shift, eh?
Yeah. I made the shift when I moved here a couple years ago. I'm originally from the Maritimes.
Yeah.
But I was in Alberta 11 years. And I worked.
Calgary?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you love it out there?
I did, actually.
Did you? Okay.
A lot of people say they just went for, jobs or whatever, but I loved it.
Awesome.
I didn't want to come back, actually, but I miss my family. And so we came back, and we came to Halifax for, job reasons and things like that.
Same.
And we love Halifax so much. So we came here, and then I had to decide if I was going to go back to the corporate world, which is what I was doing there. But I decided to take a year off and just spend it with my kids.
And how old would they have been at that time?
5 and 1.5.
Okay.
And my daughter in particular, she's got some anxieties and things like that. And I thought that the move might be hard on her. So I just really had to prioritize that. So I did that, and then that was 2.5 years ago. I still am not back to the corporate world.
Do you miss it?
Some days I miss it a lot.
Yeah,
I do, and I miss contract negotiation, which sounds so dorky, but
no, it doesn't at all.
But I've got a bit of dork in me. But other days, I'm just so happy to have the flexibility. I love what I'm doing now because I get to be out in the community, which is why I started this content creation, thing that I'm doing now, because I get to meet. I would have never got to know you on this level.
Yeah.
Aside from buying.
And we live like a minute and a half away from each other, right? So
crazy.
I mean, it's kind of strange.
Yeah. So all those things it's really helped me integrate into the Halifax community better. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you certainly bring a lot of fun to your posts and to your life, and I think that's part of what you're trying to do, right? Find the fun in every day, and
yes.
Yeah. And share that.
Yeah. Actually, the funny thing is, when I first came here, I was happy to be here, but missing Calgary. But then I would do these posts, and people would be like, "Oh my gosh, it looks like you're having so much fun." And then I was realizing, yes, for one, I am. It was a shift in my own mind. The more I captured the fun, the more I realized how much fun I was having.
Yep.
But then I realized it was a very sneaky way to get my Calgary friends to come visit me, which many of them have. So I'm tourists in Nova Scotia, basically.
Yeah.
And then other people around were starting to connect with it because they were like, "Oh, I wonder what Sarah's doing for fun. Maybe I can replicate that." So.
That's all. It's infectious, though, right? Fun is. I always say that if you have fun at work or fun in your life, it's infectious to all the people around you.
Yeah,
and so it really lifts everybody up. So
yeah,
cool. So we're excited to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do you cook at home?
So I used to cook more.
Okay.
Dean and I, my husband, we used to, really enjoy maybe opening a bottle of wine and having some bread and getting the meal on the go. And we have gotten a little bit away from that. Our kids are now, my daughter just turned 9 last week, and my son is 4. Hard question. He just turned 4 in December. And we've actually had a nanny. We had a nanny in Calgary when I worked full time out there. She decided to move here with us, and we employ her 10 hours a week, and she helps make dinner.
Really?
But she's moving out next month, so now I have to get back to cooking.
Okay.
It's an important skill that I need to hone again because I've relied very heavily on the little bit of help, but I always sort of preach don't feel like you have to do it all yourself as a parent. And even though I only work part-time, it helps me a lot in my day to have that little bit of help with mealtime. But I will be taking over that role again soon. So, yeah, I love cooking, actually.
Cool.
And my husband loves it, too. He's an accountant. I remember one day he made this great meal. He took a bite, and he'll be so mad I'm telling this. He goes,
"All the secrets.
I declare myself an excellent chef." And he's usually so modest. And I'm just like, I it was like years ago. I still remember because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But he is actually really good if you give him time and wine.
Time and wine in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Dana's good.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
That's
All right, we should get you cooking. I know Chef Andrew's over there. He's got some
Yeah,
stuff all
great.
whipped up, and we'll be back.
Awesome.
Have fun.
Thanks.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's the food segment. Andrew here in the Chit Chat Chop kitchen with Littlesarahbirch. Welcome.
Hi. I'm called Littlesarahbirch because I'm obviously very small.
Well, she's making me look very tall, so.
I'll even you guys out. I'll try to even you guys out here. Now you're even.
Oh, we're even. Great.
Okay, great.
Digital technology is incredible. So, we're going to make samosas today.
I love samosas.
Me too. They're the perfect kind of to-go food. They're just so tasty. You can put whatever you want in them.
Yeah.
So we're going to go the veggie route today. So I've got some carrots and potatoes. Of course, an amazing spice blend. And we are going to make our samosa dough from scratch. So, great thing about samosa dough is Patty's got this great recipe that I've been using in class for a while now. That has a little bit of butter, a little bit of milk, flour, salt, and cumin seeds, and that's it. So it's
wow.
And I love a nice simple dough that's easy to put together in a food processor. So,
great.
let's do it up. So, first of all, if you could do the honors of putting the 2 cups of flour in here.
Sure. Now, if we didn't have a food processor at home, would we be able to blend it by hand?
You could totally blend it by hand. It'd probably be good to have one of those dough cutters to
Okay.
cut the butter in with
Sure.
it, because the key to doing it in the food processor is it makes a really nice crummy dough first.
Okay.
Not like bad crummy, but good crummy.
With a B.
With a B. So you don't work the gluten too much if you put it in here. Basically, all the fat and flour get mixed together nice and evenly.
Okay.
And you don't, basically, if you want a nice tender dough, you don't want to manipulate the flour too much. So
Right.
that's what we're doing. So we got our flour in here. Let's put a nice pinch of salt, season that up. And Sarah, would you mind putting the butter in here? So we got
Sure.
half a cup of unsalted butter going in here. Just often like to use unsalted butter for recipes because it's easier to control the amount of total salt in your recipe if you have unsalted butter
Okay.
working. And then we're going to put our cumin seeds. So I love whole cumin seeds. They're so tasty. And when they're on the outside in a samosa dough, they get nice and brown and crispy and toasty when you cook them up. So they're going right in here as well. One of my favorite spices, cumin. So I'm just going to go a little extra.
All right.
So here's the fun part. We're going to pulse it up. So if your blender doesn't have or your food processor doesn't have a pulse button, just on and off, on and off, on and off. And I just need to plug it in, and we're good to go. So first step is power. Get your power going, and we're good to go. Now that you get your power on, powered on. So just pulse it up, and we want it to come together. We want it to crumb up just a little bit, so you can see we got the butter's starting to get in here. It's almost a little clumpy, but then what we do is we will just stream milk into it, about a half a cup, until the dough comes together and starts to ball around the inside of the food processor.
Right.
And that's another reason I like this recipe too. There's some clear indicators in the process that tell you, nope, stop now, you're done.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do that. And Sarah, if you wouldn't mind streaming this milk right into the top of the food
Sure.
processor,
Kind of
I'll
slowly?
That's what we're looking
Nice.
for.
Wow.
So check it out. When your dough balls up in the corner like that, you are ready to go.
That took no time at all.
No time at all. It's also a great way to start off a pasta dough in a food processor like this. Just put all your ingredients, pulse it, and then you don't need the big mess of flour on your table initially. You can just get your dough started in here.
Because I
Still be a bit
always
messy.
make my
but
own pasta at home.
Nice.
No, I'm joking. I don't.
It's Chit
But
Chat
it
Chop. People
sounds
would
like
have
I
believed
should.
you.
Yeah,
It was an
I
opportunity.
I like to be honest, though.
It's good quality. It's good quality. Well, maybe you can come to our make and take pasta class here at Kitchen Door Catering.
That's true. I'm signed up for a class right now, so
Cool.
I'm really excited.
All right. Excellent. Anyway, key to this dough is you have to chill it before we roll it out. So I'm just going to put it in the fridge for about 10-15 minutes. So you guys take a little break at home, and we'll be back with some nice dough. All right, now for our samosa filling.
Great.
Great. So we've got a warm pan here. So we want to start off with layering our flavors because Indian food's all about developing and building your spice flavors. So first thing, we were asking about these mustard seeds first. I really love mustard seeds. I actually learned about these in curry for the first time I heard about these was Jamie Oliver on The Naked Chef, like a long time ago. He used to put them in the pan and then they'd start popping all over the kitchen. So what I say in our cooking classes is I always want to toast off the mustard seeds first for the samosa filling, but once the seeds pop, the onion must drop. That's the rhyme that I use in class. It works. It's a good system. So we're going to put some of our mustard seeds right in here. I've got about a tablespoon of canola oil, nice neutral oil in here. So we got our mustard seeds. So we just have to wait until they start to pop. But
I can see your face in the reflection.
I didn't even know they were going to.
Wait, hi. It's amazing.
Wow.
I feel like I should be singing.
That's like a new
Disney
Instagram filter.
song.
I know, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Look at this stuff.
That oily pan filter really makes my pores shine. So what happens when they pop? The
onion's got to drop.
Must drop.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. So here we go. We're going to get about half an onion in here, just nicely diced up, and that'll stop the pop. And Sarah, if you wouldn't mind giving that a good stir around, and I'm going to add in our other aromatics. So we've got our onion in there, and now I want a nice scoop of nicely chopped ginger. That's going in there. And then, ginger's so good. I could just eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then same amount of garlic going in there. That's awesome.
Great.
Stir that all around. And next up, we need to look at our other spices, because this is all going to go pretty quick. So we need some turmeric, so that's going to go in there. Then we have some coriander. I love coriander. It's really citrusy, has a great flavor to it, and then cumin as well, which is just, it goes so well in so many different cuisines. I mean,
it fits in well with the Indian food. A lot of people are, they either love the cumin or there are strong feelings against it.
Totally.
But I love it in Indian food. I'm a big fan of Indian food.
Oh, good. What's your take on cilantro?
Oh, no, I like cilantro.
Great.
Yeah. No, I know people, they go either way on cilantro, too. But.
How's your feelings on cilantro?
No cilantro.
So what you've seen here is a case of genetics in play. 1 in 10, roughly, people don't like cilantro. It tastes a little soapy. That's fine. Perfumey, Patty says. I think it is lovely.
Same.
See, so I'm going to start adding in the spices, because when you're adding spices to any kind of curry or anything, I mean, you've made a lot, in our correspondence, you said you've made butter chicken, chana masala. Yeah, you know your way around some spices, so we want to toast them off. We want to make sure that they get some heat to them before we add other ingredients, because that's how you really pull the flavors out of these spices. So we've got half a teaspoon of turmeric, we have a teaspoon of coriander, and a teaspoon of cumin going right in there. A little bit on the table, but that's fine. I'll be cleaning that up later.
So we actually, we had an exchange student from Switzerland last year, which I actually, a number of years ago, was an exchange student in Switzerland. And I met this girl who was already an exchange student here and needed a place to stay, so she came and stayed with us. But she was a vegetarian. So that kind of expanded we already enjoyed vegetarian food, but it expanded some of our repertoire, and the chickpea chana masala was one of the introduced meals.
Totally. Yeah. Well, vegetarian food always lends itself to a lot of spices, so that's where Indian food really comes into play. There's so many great Indian recipes you can use. And we actually have a vegetarian Indian class coming up. Look at all the plugs I'm getting in, Patty. Vegetarian class coming up at Kitchen Door. Vegetarian Indian. So check that out, and also check this pan out, Adam, because this is getting to the point where we want to add our potatoes and our carrots. But the key is where all these spices are toasted, those onions are sucking up the turmeric and all the spices. We haven't seasoned it yet, so I'm going to generously put a little bit of salt in there, because we're going to season our potatoes and carrots, which are coming up with that salt as well.
It smells so good right now.
Smells so good. Yeah, if Adam says it smells good, we're on the right track.
If only you could smell it, guys, at home. You'll have to come here to smell it.
Get a nose full of that. So while you're working on that, I think another 30 seconds of that. You're doing a great job stirring it around. I'm actually going to chop up the cilantro while that's on the go. And you see people sometimes, picking off the leaves and like trying to, line up all the leaves on the cutting board. Use the stems and everything. There's so much flavor. So what I like to do, so much easier. I just like to bundle it up like that. Just put it right on the cutting board and just stems and all, chop it all up. Don't waste any of that beautiful bright cilantro flavor.
By the way,
Just
I like
that.
how you gave me positive feedback on stirring this. I feel like that's the kind of thing I do with my 4-year-old. Like, you're doing a great job. Just keep stirring. Like, it's such an important role.
Oh my goodness. She's figured me out, Adam. She's figured me out.
But you know, I am doing a good
It is
job
genuinely a good stirring job. Genuinely. So anyway, we have these potatoes. I just cubed them up and boiled them slightly so they're tender. So they're going to go right in the pan here, and they're going to start absorbing all that spicy goodness. And same thing with the carrots, just lightly cooked. So they aren't going to cook anymore in the pan. The idea is that they're going to get familiar with all their spice friends in here. Hang out.
And you did cook those in like salted water, right?
Just lightly salted water for about 5 minutes at a boil.
Okay.
So fun fact.
Fun fact.
My husband's family, he's from PEI, and all of his family, except for him now, is in the potato farming industry.
Oh.
So whenever I need to know what kind of potatoes to use, I ask him, and he never knows. It turns out he only knows how to farm them. He has no idea which potatoes to use. So what kind of potatoes would I use?
Well, for this, ideally you'd use a starchy potato because they will hold their shape a little bit better in a situation like this, but also a waxier potato. You could use it, but you won't kind of get that nice, smooth creaminess to your samosa filling that you're looking for.
It's all about the starchy.
It's all about the starchy potato. I mean,
So how do you know which is starchy?
well,
which
like
is-
starchy potatoes, like a russet or Yukon Gold, something like a red-skinned potato, that'd be a little waxier. So roast that, put on the side of your dinner. But in a samosa, you want to have like a russet or a Yukon Gold. These are Yukon Golds we're using right here.
All right.
And just look at the color in this pan already. So
I
that
know,
turmeric
it's
is
beautiful.
went
Yeah.
right into those potatoes. And now I'm going to add, check this out, Adam. Oh, it's raining
Look at all that
cilantro.
cilantro. Patty no longer likes this recipe. Way too much cilantro in it.
I would put flattened parsley in there.
Oh, yeah.
Migraine.
Okay, all right.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Also
work.
really good in here would be peas.
Oh, yeah, I love peas.
Yeah, peas are excellent. We would have used them today, but our production team just made a huge batch of stew out there. Used all the peas.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so
You should have. I could have grabbed some on my way
What
here.
do you do instead of cilantro?
I would use flat leaf parsley, or I would use, what is it, meti leaves?
oh yeah.
They would work well, like,
yeah.
fenugreek leaves. They would actually give it a really nice flavor
Yeah.
too, right?
And that's actually fenugreek leaves. They're the key to an excellent authentic butter chicken.
They are. They're
natural.
key.
They're key. They're so key. That and a pinch of cardamom, you're on your way to butter chicken. So now we have our fragrant herb, we have our potatoes, all our spices. We just need a little acid to wake it up. That's where this lemon comes into play.
Alright.
So I'm
Okay.
just going to slice the side of it here because we don't want. Yes, ideally if you cut it from the side like that, you don't get any seeds, and this is all the juice that we need right here.
What?
So
My mind is blown right now. I'm constantly picking seeds out of my
they're
mind.
so annoying.
This is like an awesome tip.
Good. Awesome tips only on Chit Chat Chop.
Yes. Well, I make,
Or
if
you
kids
can
get sick. Does anyone else
Yes.
do this? I always make honey lemon tea for my kids when they get sick.
Oh, yeah.
So I use, just lemon and honey and boiling water and
Well, I like this because you can just like put this on a plate and put it in the fridge, and you don't have to use a piece of
Yeah.
saran wrap to
Yeah, exactly.
get it all wrapped up.
Yeah.
Eco-friendly, people.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, so we've turned the heat off in the pan now, so we just need to let this cool down a bit. So we're going to roll out our samosa dough while this cools. So what we did, I took that samosa dough that we made and I just cut it up into 10 little cubes here, plus a little tester to make sure it worked before the camera started rolling, Very important on a high intensity food show. Make sure your recipe works. So first things first, let's roll it into a dough so we can get more of a circle.
Like into
rolled
like a
out.
bowl kind of, or
Into
ball?
a ball, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I wanted to tell you about a cooking class I took
Ooh.
in Calgary one time.
Mm-hmm.
I actually took like a group of clients out for a big cooking class. It was wonderful. It had, this French chef from France, and I'd actually been to his hometown because I lived in France for a while.
Cool.
So, he was like finding that very cool. But he had a Sous chef who had just moved, I believe, from China, and his English was not the greatest. And I said, like, okay, is this the icing sugar that I'm supposed to use for the dessert? And he said, yes. And so we made the dessert, and I was the one who put the icing sugar on it. And then when we served it, it became obvious that actually it was baking soda.
Oh no!
And I ruined the meal. I didn't want to throw his sous sous chef under the bus. I took complete ownership for it. And I paid for that for years to come. I actually ran into the chef at an event like 2 years later, and he was like, oh, Sarah. And I'm like, how do you remember my name? And he said, well, you know, you put baking soda.
You're baking soda Sarah, yeah.
I've told the story a number of times, yeah.
So now you've told the truth.
So now the world knows.
Now the
I
world
hope he's
knows.
not watching. Poor sous chef.
We have a pretty wide-ranging audience, so you never know. We rolled into little balls. So now I'm just making
I got ahead
little
again.
discs. Well, that's good. I'm catching up to you, if anything. So I'm just making little discs here.
Okay.
So we can.
I didn't do that part. Is that okay?
That's okay. Yours is circular. I was afraid
All right.
of turning it into a square. Ideally, we end up with circles. So
Okay.
let's just roll it out.
Keep
Make sure there's a
rolling.
decent amount of flour on top, and then give it a quarter turn every roll. That way, we're more likely to get a more successful circle.
All right. What do we think about this?
I think that is
Good?
Good.
It meets the standard?
Yep. And I'll tell you what. Look at this. You can have the other one that I have right here if you want
Okay.
to see if you can manipulate that one into
Into a
bit-
circle?
Into slight more circular than it is now.
Okay.
I think that looks awesome, Sarah. We're probably good there. So let's fill these.
All right.
What do you think?
Great.
So, first things first is what we want to do is while it's still sitting down on the table, we make our initial triangle shape for the samosa. This might be a little different than the ones you did before, but
That's
I find
fine.
this is the way that works best in a cooking class scenario. So I've got a little dish of water right here. So I'm just going to wet my finger and rub it on the inside. So I've tucked in these two triangular sides like that, and I'm going to glue them together, just like so.
I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
Great, and then you basically put it in your hand like so, and then drape it over your hand. So you've got a little cone
Okay.
in your hand.
I have very small hands, which is fine because, you know, I look weird with big ones, but just how am I doing here?
Excellent.
Okay, all right.
Well, and the great thing about samosas, you can make them any size you want. So over to the pan now, let's fill it up. So you hold your hand like that, and I will
Okay.
put it in, and then we'll tuck in our filling. Nice and tasty.
Great.
Look at that.
Oh, sorry.
That's one for the chef for later.
I'm going to be eating that as soon as the camera's not watching.
Exactly. And this is why it's always good to fill them over a pan, because some of it's going to fall out.
Yes, I've just moved my hand over
All
the
right.
pan.
I think that is good
Okay.
for the first one.
And I'll wait for further instructions.
That's a good call. I'll get to the same stage as you, and then we'll make this work together.
I
Gotcha.
ate it. It's delicious though. It tastes so good.
All right, so let's just put it back down on the table like so, and then this will solidify our samosa shape. So
Okay.
just layer down with the point towards you.
Okay, got it.
Great. And now we have our little pajama flap here. So we want to put our water right around the edge of the pajama flap.
Oh, like those onesie pajamas.
Yeah, like a onesie.
I have a pair. You can actually just like pull down the bum and you don't even have to take it off to use the washroom.
They're perfect.
So much information.
Feel free to edit that out.
Or keep it in. So we just fold the pajama flap up
Okay.
and then tuck it all around.
I feel like, was I supposed to do this first?
No,
or-
did you wet this part?
Yeah, I
oh,
did,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's good. And see, this is the beauty of it. We just form our samosa
Kinda
shape like so,
Bing, bing.
and then let's get our little tray out here. And now we
so
flip it over, and look at that. The other side looks like a proper samosa.
Nice. I get to eat these, right?
Yeah, you
I
do.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you do.
my
That's
last one.
excellent. So what we're gonna do a little test here, and I'm actually just gonna make sure we have our edges sealed up decently. All right, so we're gonna fry some of these, and we're gonna bake some of these, and we have a little game, Sarah. We hear that you like musicals a
Oh,
lot.
I do. I like them a lot.
Awesome. Anyway, get ready for the show coming up in just a sec. We're gonna bake these, and then maybe they'll pop up in the middle of our game. We'll see.
Nice. Let's hope.
All right.
So we've turned the camera around. I'm usually not on the camera, I'm usually behind the camera, because I'll need to explain what these crazy kids are up to. So as you heard in Sarah's, we always ask for some information, and Sarah said she loved musicals and she was a bit of a performer. She was in the same
theater group as us.
Same theater group.
KV players.
So we thought we'd take advantage of having this amazing talent. We're gonna do musical charades. So it's not gonna be knowing who's in a certain musical, but the title. And they each have an amazing, we scoured all of Nova Scotia for the brains of musicals.
It just so happens.
That they both work here. So Megan is on Patty's team. We have Chef Andrew on Sarah's team. And we've already figured out that team is going first. And we're going to start it up.
Whoop, whoop.
First team of 3.
Whoop, whoop.
I guess you have a chance to match.
I should clarify, I'm actually not talented. But I have great enthusiasm.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
So ready.
Okay.
You got her?
Scrap paper. This is our paper saving initiative.
You have 60 seconds. 60 seconds.
Okay.
And go.
4 words. First, violin.
I know the answer.
Musical. Music. Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Okay, I hope ours is as easy. Okay, this is easy if I could use anything except my voice, like with my voice. Okay.
Okay, ready, Andrew?
Let's go.
Okay.
One word. Oh, you're doing a really good job, but I don't know what you're doing. Okay, so shoveling. Oh no, wait. She's so happy. Oh my God. What is this one? Bonnet? No. What?
Can we steal?
Oh, you're doing such a good job. What is it?
Where are we at?
25 seconds. You're good.
Does it sound like anything?
20 seconds left.
Booty? But? Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
You are really good actress.
You're not gonna have a party. Just there's no
What
idea.
is it? Misery? No. That's not
Time's up.
The sun'll come out.
Annie! That's so embarrassing.
So these are, yeah.
You guys got it. And you were like, sounds like I'm like fanning.
Okay,
I
Megan.
know.
I was like, he's not gonna get it. I knew it from like.
Okay.
You know what? You got it?
Yep.
You know that one?
I do.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
One word. 3 syllables. Third syllable. Run. Stop. 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 Running. No? Jesus, this is not bad.
It's good?
Third syllable. One word. Third syllable. Stop. Stop over. Stop. Go! Second syllable. Sounds like. Sing. Chirp. Tweet. Baby bird.
Pretty good.
Oh, what was that?
Chicago.
Oh my gosh! That's
Good everyone.
I'm dying. I'm gonna live forever. One word. 1 syllable. Reaching in your pocket. Empty. Gone. Poor. You're lost. You're confused.
This is hard. I can't talk. I almost said it there. Okay. It's rent. It's rent.
You got it? No. We're going to 2. This is more challenging than I
Nobody
expected.
pays rent. In rent, I know that much.
You're like writing empty pockets. And you're like,
So if you get this, we're just gonna go to 2.
okay, because it's gonna go on
It's
forever.
stressing out. You might have to get some paid leave here. They're stressed out.
Oh.
I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
3 words. Third word. Perfect. Elegant. Fierce. Yeah. Sing. Brave.
Chicago.
Outrageous.
Okay.
Second word. Short. Small. Big. Grow. Small. Big. Oh, up. Grow up. High. Big.
Help me. Help me. Come on.
Okay, the first word? The. The. Growing. The growth. The big. Fantastic. The huge. The hug.
You know this, don't you?
Okay.
Peel. Fast. Potato. Peel. Shred. Great. The Great Gatsby. No, the Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Showman. That was good. That was good.
Sorry, I tried.
That was really good. Okay. All right.
She's not excited.
This is how I'll get this one.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
2 words. First word.
No.
Oh. 2 words? Two syllables?
No. Sorry.
Second word. Second word.
Tree? Christmas tree?
Yes.
Christmas tree? Christmas, 2 words. Oh, wait.
Second word is Christmas, is what
tree.
she said.
Yeah.
Second word is Christmas. Hurry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
1. First word. Christmas Carol. No, wait. Christmas. The wall.
Second word is Christmas.
Oh yeah, right.
Um,
White Christmas.
We had a little help. We just wanted to get into a tie.
We're good.
I love that movie. Well, did you say
I'm dreaming
of a
I was
white.
thinking of like going for like a dream.
Oh,
I'm like, that's
I'm
too
happy
far
I got
fetched.
My
tree.
turn?
Yes.
It's your turn.
Your turn. Let's put another in misery.
Okay.
You're like, I'm so
I
stressed.
am stressing out.
Keep giving 2 fingers.
Okay.
Do you know this one?
Yeah, I actually do.
I love Megan.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
4 words.
4 words. First word. The. Second word. She's good at this. The stoic. The. Oh.
I know this one.
Oh. What have the Oh, help me! I helped you.
God.
Oh, the Wizard of Oz.
Hey! That's 2. You won.
Woo! That was harder than anticipated. But you can't talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's 2. Right.
That's
right.
why you did talk.
We had to change rules because we
Going on forever. We would have run out of.
We had signals for Oklahoma, the producers, and Hamilton.
We just had like
Right
left
ear was
right here.
Oklahoma, left ear.
Oh, the cheaters!
Well, it didn't pay off.
All right, so we've had a few hits here today. Sometimes you lose at charades, and sometimes the fryer isn't turned on to the right temperature, so you just end up baking all your samosas. But let me tell you, they look gorgeous. Check these out, Sarah.
I just wanted to taste one.
Let's taste it up. I think this. Oh, they're all very pretty, but let's go into this one right
Okay,
here. We'll just
that
cut
one's
that in
nice.
half so people can see what we made. Look at that.
Oh, looks great.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Got that steam coming out. And And these are great with like a chutney just on their own.
Oh yeah.
But you can
I
dip in
love
whatever.
chutney, too,
Chutney's
yeah.
so good, like a tamarind chutney or a mint chutney. Delicious. So Sarah, before we take a big bite, is there anything you got going on you want to let us know about? Anything, any shout outs you want to hand out?
Oh gosh, so much pressure. Check me out on Littlesarahbirch. I'm Littlesarahbirch on Facebook and also on Instagram and also on my blog.
Awesome. And I am no longer doing anything musical related or charade related because I just yell out the answers. On that bombshell, thanks a lot for coming on Chit Chat Chop. It was awesome to have you.
I had a great time.
And samosas, make them at home, give them to your family.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
You're welcome.
Cheers. Samosa cheers.